Today we're going to talk about frequency tables, and these are the first things that we learn in Stat 3309. Frequency tables. And the first thing that you have to do is set up the classes. Once you've got the classes set up, then you put together the frequencies based on those classes, and then everything else works from there. Okay, so please get the sample one that I've attached for you, and let's take a look. So we have a starting lower limit of 400. We had the width of 200. We have n equal to 25. We have 25 data points, and we have 6 classes. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is start putting together the classes, and you're given the first one, that is the lower limit 1. So then lower limit of the second class is lower limit of the first class plus the width. So that's going to be your 400 plus 200 equals 600. Then lower limit 3 is equal to lower limit 2 plus the width. So lower limit 2 was 600 plus the width of 200 gives me 800. Okay. Then lower limit 4 is equal to lower limit 3 plus the width. And that's 800 plus 200 equals 1,000. Then lower limit 5 is equal to lower limit 4 plus the width. And that's going to be 1,000 plus 200 or 1,200. All right, lower limit 6 is equal to lower limit 5 plus the width. So that's going to be 1,200 plus 200 equals 1,400. Okay, now you always need an extra one at the end, so I'm just going to call this extra, and that's going to be lower limit 6 plus the width, and you'll see how we use this in a minute. That's going to be 1,400 plus 200, which is equal to 1,600. Okay? All right, so that sets up your classes. So let's start putting together our table. So I have classes. Whoa. Hang on. There. Classes. So we have 400, 600, 800, uh-oh, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400. All right, so then the upper limit is just the lower limit of the next class, so it's going to go to from 400 to 600. Now notice, this is going to be greater than or equal to 400, but less than 600. Then the next one I'm going to have 800, then 1,000, then 1,200, then 1,400, and then here's where we pick up that extra one. There's the 1,600. Okay, so that's our first column that we need to generate. The next one is our frequency column. So then you actually go back into the data itself and count up the numbers that fall in the class. So for instance, I'm going to say how many points in my data set fall between 400 and that are greater than or equal to 400 but less than 600, and there is just one, that is the value 419. Okay? Then how many are greater than or equal to 600 but less than 800? There are 3. How many are greater than or equal to 800 but less than 1,000? That would be 7. Greater than or equal to 1,000 but less than 1,200? That's 8. Now notice, you have a value exactly at 1,200. That will go into the next class. Alright, that'll be the first value in the 5th class. So in the 5th class, greater than or equal to 1,200 but less than 1,400, you have 5. And finally, greater than or equal to 1,400 but less than 1,600, you have 1,427, which is just 1. Now what you want to do at this point is add them up and see if they add up to n of 25. That has to add up to the sample size. So let's see, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 7 is 11, plus 8 is 19, plus 5 is 24, and plus 1 is 25, which is as it should be. Good. Okay. Cumulative frequency, which is part B in the question, is pretty simple. Essentially, you're adding down the column, you're zigzagging. So copy the first one over from frequency. So you've got 1 there. So then you're going to say 1 plus 3 gives me 4. 4 plus 7 gives me 11. 11 plus 8 gives me 19. 19 plus 5 gives me 24. And 24 plus 1 gives me 25. Also notice, in the cumulative frequency, the last class must equal the n of the sample size. So does it equal to 25? It does. Okay? Then part C, relative frequency, this is pretty straightforward. You just take the value in frequency and divide it by the n. So we have 1 over 25, which is 0.04. You've got 3 over 25, which is 0.12. You've got 7 over 25. I don't know why that's creeping around. And that's equal to 0.28. You have 8 over 25, and that's equal to 0.32. You have 5 over 25. That should be an equal sign there. 5 over 25, which is 0.20. and another 1 over 25, which is 0.04. Okay? So, what you want to do is add these up and see if they add up to 1, which is as it should be. So let's see, 0.16, 0.28 gives me 0.44, plus 0.32 is 0.76, plus 0.2 is 0.96, and 0.04 is 1.00, which is as it should be. Okay. Now, the cumulative relative frequency, you just zig and zag like you do for cumulative frequency, and the last class in there should be 1. Or I should say the value in the last class should be 1. So let's see if I can scoot this over a little bit. And, okay. So cumulative relative frequency, you have 0.04. You just copy it over. My washer's making noise. Then you add and get 0.16. 0.16. Well, it doesn't want to work. But anyhow, you're going to add down there. Why isn't this working? Let's try this. 0.16. Add the 0.28. That gives me 0.44. Add the 0.32. That gives me 0.76. Add the 0.2. That gives me 0.96. And add 0.04, which gives me 1.00. And that is that. Okay, hope this helps.